right, guys, we're here with Kevin in Philadelphia. It is Ed with Brain MTG, and we're having a discussion about grading.
Man, it's game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
So I was just telling Kevin this, literally just saying this, that I like to have a little discussion with like Josh and Paul about grading because I like to see where people land on that whole issue. A lot of people are all for it. A lot of people hate it. It's good to know why, you know?
Yeah, when I was getting back into the hobby, I saw, like, grading wasn't a thing. Like, I was young at the time. Grading wasn't really a thing back then. I didn't even know anything about grading. Mm-hmm. But then when I was back into the market,
around what set? What are we talking about? When did you get back in?
I got back in, like, seriously buying post-pandemic.
Okay, so that's only like a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been very
maybe a year
recent.
even. Yeah, okay.
Because I spent a lot of time just watching the market, because when I saw what the cards cost then, a couple months back, when Magic was at its
the
peak,
yeah.
I was like, there's no way I'm getting into any of this stuff. So once it started cooling off at the end of 2021, that's when I started making small purchases, and then started making my way up to those booster boxes that you saw.
Let me ask you a quick question. This deal that we just did, what are you going to roll that into? Are you putting it back into Magic, or?
I'm thinking about getting high-end, high-grade cards, because I've been seeing the premiums start to slip. The premiums on a lot of the small cards, and I think it's just due to the economy, a lot of people are targeting lower dollar cost cards. So
all those penny stocks, it's an easy target. You buy it out, it goes from $1 to $5, and you can actually buy enough to affect the market. But what happens when you're trying to sell them and extract that money back out? I mean, it's tempting, but I don't think it's worth it, especially for the amount of work you're going to put in.
Yeah, no one's buying out 9.5 Tabernacles. Like, no one has the capital to really do that.
Exactly.
So
if you could, though, you'd make a real impact on the market.
Yeah, but that's kind of where my mind is at. Like these boxes are great. I have a couple as display pieces and whatnot, but it's not really like cards in a binder or now in a slab. It's much more visually appealing to me, and I also think a lot of the iconic cards that I'm missing for my sets.
Literally,
this is now the time for me to get
make your move.
Yeah. So like a 9.5.
That's why I got started. Actually, was encapsulating and protecting my collection, especially the most iconic ones. That's why I started grading. I mean, I found the multipliers to be very attractive later on, but why I started grading was putting them in those slabs, protecting them, you know? So, yeah, you're moving to a tabernacle? Huh, that's nice.
Yeah, I saw some get sold on eBay, and they were like in the 6K, like after fees.
9.5?
Yeah, 9.5. So
I think that's a good deal at this point.
Ones are selling for like 4 to 4.5K. It's like, well, I pay 50%
that's
premium.
So worth it.
When you see like the smaller rares, they get like 3-4x the price sometimes. I'm just like, I'd rather just buy those raw and then get the higher end cards graded, because one, I know what I'm getting, the pinnacle of the collection. I'm okay with paying that sort of premium for, and the rest can be raw in a binder.
I think eventually when the market really gets to the point where it should be and things start appreciating and getting the prices that they, for how difficult they are, I think that's the type of card that's going to get into, 7 figures easily. That's not 7 figures. I mean, 5 figures. My bad.
2 figures.
I mean in the tens of thousands. Okay, like in between 10 and 20. I'm not talking less than 10. That's what I mean.
And originally I was against graded cards because of the price. I was like, why would anyone pay more than, sometimes there's like 2-3 times multiple for the same card raw? It just didn't make sense to my little brain at first. And then as I was purchasing more cards and then seeing more variants with how people grade their own cards and they sell, and not being happy with
you realize how hard it is to actually get that gem mint card out in the wild, whether you're buying it raw or whether you're opening it. A lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to get better than a 9 from a pack fresh card, it's it's like a crapshoot. It's really like 80% are 9s or less. Yeah, something like that. You know, when I started grading, it was only $7 a card to grade. So there's also that difference nowadays. You know, $50 a card, or even $35 if you're willing to wait 3/4 of a year. It's still 500% of what I was paying. You know, it allowed me to be more experimental and grade all these random type of cards. You know, do full sets like the expeditions and the inventions. You know, not full sets. I had partial sets, but still to grade 20 cards at a time. And like even some of the lower end ones from that set, you know, the $20 cards, it wouldn't be worth it unless you're getting that bulk lower rate. It's just things are different now when it comes to grading too. Like that whole market is evolving over time, and I'm interested to see where it goes in the next 5-10 years. I think we could be in for some kind of shocking prices if it goes according to how difficult it is to get some of these things. Yeah.
And since I'm completing a set, I want the cards to look good, and I don't need like graded commons or things like that. I can take a little bit lesser condition for those, but when you're spending $4,000 for a tabernacle and you see that type of variance, I'm like, well, I know what to expect for the most part. Like a 9 or a 9.5 tabernacle, there's that expectation of what you're actually getting. So it made me change my outlook on it a bit. The other part was, as I started opening more stuff, more packs again, I was thinking, I'm never gonna sell these anyways. I don't really care if they come back like off-centered 8 or something like that. I like to encapsulate kind of what I've pulled.
It's the same sentiment as when I started. You want to protect your cards that are from your collection so that you can hold them and preserve them for yourself for the future. I mean, there's a lot to be said for that. It's not all about value. You know, it didn't start that way for me, and it's not all about that still for me. You know, there's a lot of enjoyment to be had in your collection, and I think a lot of that gets pushed to the side more often than not. Everybody's looking at the market so seriously, they forget to take a minute and just enjoy the freaking thing, you know?
They think that if they grade some modern card rare, it's gonna fetch like 2-3 times
Everybody's
the price.
always trying to hunt for that thing, and it's like you're just gonna wear yourself out. You're never gonna get that. It's not that type of market anymore where you can get lucky like that, you know? It just isn't. Things are different now, especially again with the cost of grading and how people perceive grading even has changed. It's kind of interesting to see where it's developing. And some people may find it funny, but we find it very serious here.
Well, I do find it funny when I go on the Facebook groups and I see what type of multiples they're asking. Now I have like a better idea of what to expect, but some people still think, grade anything, make money off of it, and that's not. It's not as easy now, especially since with the economy the way it is and the card market slowing down a bit. People aren't paying the multiples that are worth grading every single card. You got to be a lot more selective than what you're grading.
And it's not all about baseline value or rarity, right? There's a lot of iconic cards that will get a much higher multiple than something rarer because it's more iconic. You know, a really nice Sarah Angel or Vesuvian Doppelganger from Unlimited is going to get more than a lot of the rares. And the Sarah, I know, I'm not talking about Vesuvian here, the Sarah was an uncommon, but it's going to get a lot better multipliers on some high-end graded ones than a lot of the rares because it's iconic. Everybody loves Sarah Angel, you know, so it's just something to think about when grading too. All right, no doubt. This has been interesting here, hanging with Kevin in Philadelphia. We will catch you guys later. Peace.